Dale the Painter here. Today, a couple of bathrooms to do, so let's see what happens.
There was a crack in the wall just above the door here, but what we ended up doing is just spackling that. I sanded it down first. The whole place has been sanded down. So when I get that done, sand it down, and then we'll just paint it all up. And it's going to need 2 coats. Yeah, it's going to need 2 coats because the color is changing from this dark to a light. So of course I have my cut bucket, my paint, and that way I can do my cutting in edges. See the edges up there? Cut them in really clean, right near the ceiling, and then I can get going from there. For me, the worst part about painting is behind the toilet. Because you have to go behind the tank, and there's usually like this much space between the tank and the wall. And as you can see, the person who painted before me didn't quite cover the back of the tank either. Another great trick to do is take the lid off of the tank from the toilet so you can paint a little lower behind the tank. So when painting behind the tank of the toilet, you take the brush and you go down and bring up the paint and go down as far as possible. And then underneath the tank, put the brush up, do the opposite, up as far as possible. Hopefully with you going down as far as possible, up as far as possible, you'll paint possible. And you put the lid back on again. And that's as close as you can get without taking the tank off the back of the toilet. Which is really something you do not want to do. No, 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 no. Another fun thing while you're painting in the bathroom, a towel rod, and it's actually stuck to the wall with grout, or in this case, epoxy. And it's all secure against the wall, and so you have to kind of paint around it. I'm gonna try my best to cover his paint and keep a straight line at the same time. Now, that's probably the best I can do because I've got rid of the previous color. And then, as you can see, there's a little bit of one layer. If you can see right there, a little bit of paint that's on the ceramic. So that's important to cover that up. As you can see, all the way around there, it's all cut in, it's ready to go. I get to my paint in my tray, and then we get to roll in. Roll in, roll in, roll in. Sorry. Now the great thing about painting on your own is you get to strategize where you're gonna start, how you're gonna finish. Usually, I start behind the door, usually on that corner, and work my way around. And I go from left to right. And when you're on your own, you can plan that better. When you're with a group of people and they all just start doing, well, their tasks laid out for them, it can sometimes mess up your own system, and you have to kind of pick and choose which walls or which things you're going to do, whether it's trim or walls. So being on your own has its advantages. It also has its disadvantages. It takes a lot longer. Okay, now I'm done my first coat. Everything looks okay. Got the first coat done. Now I'm gonna let that set up for a while, take some lunch, and then come back at her and give her the second roll. Because it's not really that big of a room, so it's not dry yet. Plus, I'm hungry. The tray, there it is, the roller. I loaded up the roller one more time, and then I got a piece of fabric and I wet it down and wrung it out, so it's got still drippy wet. Now here's what I do with this. I apply this over top of the tray, just like this. See that? It covers the tray corner to corner, and it's wet. So what this does is prevents the paint from drying. With a smaller rag, you could take this, put your brush, and wrap it up. See, like this? Wrap it around it, make sure it's wet. And that'll keep your brush until after you're finished having lunch. Alright, so here we go. we've got all finished. It looks great. The bulbs have been all put in, and it's back to its former glory. Bathroom's complete from top to bottom. Now we have the second bathroom to do. Do the same thing all over again. Now, as you can see, the previous painter didn't quite finish their job, but the homeowner would like to see this rectified. It's kind of like a pea green, like pea green soup. The color they're going to put on there is called Natural Wicker, which is kind of like a beige, sandy color. Now, I like to sand the walls down before I start painting. And some of the walls have little imperfections on them and bumps and stuff from the previous painter. Or maybe there's clumps in the paint, or the actual surface of the wall wasn't sanded before they started. So I like to sand that down. And this wall has a few little imperfections and little bumps. And you pick up those bumps there. See all those bumps in the wall right there? That's in the paint itself. So all I have to do is get my sander. I got a really cool palm sander. This palm sander has a little bag in it. This little bag actually traps all the dust. So it keeps it from accumulating in the air, which helps the homeowner and me. They started in this corner cutting in, and then decided against it, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm gonna patch this up, and it's gonna look like it was never there, and paint this if I can find the color of the ceiling, because there's little things here that need to be rectified. That's a nail head that's been sticking out for quite some time. So what I'm going to do is probably get a hammer, try to get that in a little bit further so that it won't do that again. And there you go. Now it's in. And I can cover that with spackle. Alright, first coat of spackle's on there. Okay, after this dries, I'll give it a quick sanding and then add a second coat of spackle to it. And it will look amazing when it's all done. You won't even know it was there. Now, as you can see, there are some green marks from the previous painter on the ceiling. So what I've done is I painted up a little bit to the ceiling, and then I realized it's still too much. So I'm gonna have to color it with a bit of ceiling white, really simple. Because that color is so dark, I have to wait for it to dry and give it another coat. Load all my gear in the van, and then I go home. It's been a long day, so I'm looking forward to getting home. Yeah, with the ladder. Pretty bizarre. Need a real truck or something.